Kennan ban from Henry Clay. And the final ban of the first round for Wolves Blue is a brand ban. So this first round of bans complete for Wolves Blue as Henry Clay looks to get their next ban. And Henry Clay is going to go with a Nasus ban. So a strong top laner there, ban for Henry Clay. Now the picks for Wolves Blue is going to go with a Darius pick, as Henry Clay goes with a... What pick are they going to choose? Looks like they're going to go with a Vigar pick. And a yellow pick, maybe. And a Sivir pick. Picks coming in a little bit quicker this time. And a Orianna pick for Wolves Blue. Last pick of the first round is going to go to Henry Clay, and they're going to go with a... Is that a... Before they lock it in, a Kaisa pick. So that's the first round of picks. Now they get to ban 2 more. First up, Henry Clay with their next ban. Taking their time on this one, and a Nunu ban. Back over to Wolves Blue. They are going to go with a Vi ban.
If I want your opinion, I'll beat it out of you.
Final ban for Henry Clay in this second round matchup. It's going to go for, let's see, an Alistar ban. Okay. Back over to Wolves Blue for their final ban pick. And they ban a Braum. Alright, last 2 picks here for each team. First up, Henry Clay. Fourth pick of the match is a Jarvan pick. Are they going to lock Jarvan in? And they do. Back over to the blue side. Wolves Blue. They are going to go... Let's see who they're going to lock in. With the Ramos pick. Interesting pick here. A Galio pick. And that is locked in. Final pick of the match is a possible Leona pick. Leona. So that is your matchup between Wolves Blue and Henry Clay. Let's take a look at our starting lineup here for the Wolves Blue in spring 2019. We have senior Cody Sargent in the top lane. In the bot lane running ADC, we have senior Jarrett White. His support is junior Jeremy McKinney. In the jungle, we have junior Cameron Caskey. And in the mid lane, we have senior Brendan Bush. We also want to thank our sponsors for this season: Appalachian Wireless, Mountain Telephone Rural Cooperative, Licking Valley Rural Electric, Farmers and Traders Bank of Campton, Whitaker Bank of Campton, and Sweetheart by Stephanie of Campton, Kentucky. We'll go back here to our Champ Select and do some analysis before the match.
So it seems that Wolfe County's taking a different approach this game, going for a lot more of a CC-based matchup, as well as also sort of taking the Henry Clay top laner's Darius away from him. So let's see. Hopefully that'll be in Wolfe County's favor. This will be also the first time we'll be seeing Rammus being played at least from Wolfe County, which would definitely be something interesting. Ramus is very tanky, as well as has pretty good CC with his taunt, as well as his ultimate with that damage around him, that AoE damage, which can also do pretty heavy damage to towers. The Illaoi versus, in terms of like individual lane wise, Illaoi and Darius. If Darius just manages to avoid the Illaoi's the soul pulls as well as her tentacle slams, he should be able to win those fights pretty easily. Ramus and Jarvan. Ramus is a lot more of a CC based mid jungler than Jarvan. Jarvan does have a little better gank potential with how fast he can do it with his EQ combo. But Ramus being as tanky as he is, as well as if Ramus getting that taunt off, is a much bigger threat than dealing with the knockup from Jarvan. Yeah. Orianna and Veigar being pretty interesting matchup as well.
And Ramus's Q, doesn't he build up movement speed and then do a knockup if he hits?
Ramus is it's a knockup.
So that could definitely make up a little bit for that mobility issue compared to Jarvan. See just a lot more crowd control coming from the Wolves blue team this time, and not really as much from the. I would say not as much from the Henry Clay team, but still quite a bit with that Leona ult, the Veigar W or E, which is devastating. As we saw last game, that Veigar E is very hard to play around unless you work really hard to build against it.
Yeah, Henry Clay though doing really well last game and managing to maximize the efficiency of that Veigar stun, with having Darius managing to probably get 2 people every time he pulled, as well as having maybe another one get caught in that Veigar stun, getting about 60% of Wolfgang's team caught alone in that stun was a big problem with that Braum ult following up almost immediately every time. That was a big problem for Wolfgang there, trying to deal with that. So hopefully they manage to build around it. You will see too that Wolfgang's mid laner taking cleanse to counteract the CC from the Leona stun as well as the Veigar stun. So hopefully that'll be a little bit of a lifesaver there coming his way mid lane if he manages to time it right.
Yeah, and Veigar is very dangerous because his Q can infinitely stack AP for free. So every 3 or 4 seconds, he can throw out an ability that can potentially get him 1 to 2 more AP per cast. So that's one thing Orianna's going to have to be around and harass him a little bit more into not making those easy trades, because his Q distance is not that far, but it is devastating damage right there. So if you get too close, it's a very, very thin line you have to walk against Veigar.
Yeah. So overall, I would say that in terms of team comp-wise, Wolfgang does have a much superior team than they did last match in terms of, the team fight potential and the just overall effectiveness of working together versus definitely versus their last match. But anyway, as we get ready to go into the game itself, so let's go and swap over to that.
Okay, we see the team spawning in now. We are going to have the Wolves blue on the blue side this match and the Henry Clay team on the red. We're seeing everybody get to their buffs. Right now, grouping up, we have the Henry Clay team, Leona, trying to get a little bit of deep vision right there going through the Drake pit. So Wolves Blue is going to have to go through on the other side there, seeing that ward get placed down. And Wolves Blue pinging, knowing that the Henry Clay team is there in the river waiting for them to go. Both teams looks like they're going to start there on that red buff. So we could potentially see an early gank from Ramus. But it looks like they're going back around to secure that red buff on each side, trying to be there when it spawns. No invades. Looks like both teams are going to play it pretty safe here in the early game.
Oriana goes to ward top lane, or the top tribe, or the top pixel brush. As Vigar goes toward the bot side pixel brush.
Yeah, those two deep wards there from the Henry Clay team there in that bot side jungle with the pixel brush and that ward over the Drake.
See Jarvan and Malawi going for that top side red buff as Ramus goes, as well as with Sivir and Galio for this bot side blue buff. Which, by the way, Wolfe County, I don't know if you mentioned, but Wolfe County is on the blue side, so. Blue, so yeah, it'll be a little easier to call it out like that. Galio started with his W, actually, and weirdly enough. Going with the, for that shield. Darius top lane going against Orlawe. Let's see if he'll be able to avoid most of that damage. We see Jarvan invading, going for Wolfe County's blue buff, managing to secure that. He might be going up top side here, looks like maybe for an early level 2 gank. And actually moves towards mid lane. As he goes for Scuttle Crab. Meanwhile, Ramus goes back towards bot side jungle and to steal Henry Clay's jungler's red buff, or blue buff, sorry. Counter jungle gold score is pretty even at the moment. Darius manages to get a W off onto Malawi with one of those hemorrhage stacks. Taking a little bit of minion aggro, but nothing too severe. Jarvan now moving towards top side, maybe looking for a level 2 gank, as he decides to back off and go through Tri-Bush toward Raptor Camp, or Krugs, sorry. Ramus goes jungle to, meanwhile Ramus manages to get the Scuttle Crab. As it looks like he might be going on an early level 2, or an early gank as he goes in, power balling to the side, managing to connect onto Leona. Gallia with that dash as well as the taunt combo. We see Ramus doing some extra damage. Sivir coming with that auto tag, a heal from Kai'Sa to save Leona. Even though it really looked like he wasn't going to do much damage. Darius managing to get connected with a soul pull, dodging the slap, managing to get an E onto Alawi. Good W combo. 4 lead stacks, managing to land the Q. Crazy damage here from Darius, getting ignited. Or no? Yeah, an ignite from Alawi. As Jarvan also comes top lane. The Q from Darius, managing to out-trade. Looks like he's going to be able to successfully trade. And the Alawi with that slap. Crazy damage on Darius for that first blood. But Darius managing to get that hemorrhage stack off on Jarvan to trade for kill as well. So 1-to-1 trade there to start the game out.
Yeah, Wolfe County definitely, even though it looks like an even trade there, Wolfe County coming out on top. Really, because Alawi had to burn both summoners there, and Jarvan has both summoners down as well right now. And Cody up there in the top lane not having to burn one, although taking the death, but securing that Jarvan kill to make up for it.
Gold difference being 500 in favor of Henry Clay at 4.5 minutes. Let's check the CS. Out farming Darius slightly because of the amount of poke that you can do with her tentacle slam. Ramus out farming Jarvan by about 5 CS. We see Oriana down about 10 CS in the mid lane. Maybe about 7 now, but Sivir down about 10 CS in the bot lane as well. So CS lead in favor of Henry Clay at this point. Sivir and Gallia now pushed up in lane against Kai'Sa and Leona, getting some pretty good farm there from Sivir, getting some good poke off as well. See Jarvan moving through mid lane, going back towards top side. As Vigar and Oriana trade pretty evenly. Ramus moving down towards his bot side jungle as Jarvan decides to go for his Raptor camp. Good farming here from both sides, from both teams here. Darius taking down a tentacle there. as Alawi goes in the bush to clear a control ward put by Darius. Wolfe Kenny as well this game, going for a lot higher, or a lot more vision. Vision was a big threat, or big problem for them last game, so they're going to hopefully try and compensate by a good majority of their team putting out some control wards to counteract for that lack of vision from last game. Darius or Galio going with that taunt, landing it on Kai'Sa as well as the Q connecting. So good on him. Darius managing to Q off on Alawi there, getting tanked by the slam. 5 stacks of hemorrhage onto Alawi as she goes into the bush. Darius following up with the W, not going to connect. The Q connecting though, as he ready as a W, but not going to be able to finish up with it. We see Ramus now moving towards bot side, going to clear a ward in Tri-Bush. Would have been a good gank there, but sadly enough, they did have vision of them. The ward's heavy in bot side in favor of Henry Clay. 2 wards alone near Dragon Pit. So, Wolfgang's going to have to get maybe a scanner on their support to be able to get rid of all those wards. See Darius landing the pull on Alawi. Sorry, Alawi ulting as well. Darius going off with the ult, but not being able to do enough damage as Alawi manages to finish him off with her ulti. So, rough trade there from top lane from Darius. He didn't really go into that fight very well prepared. He only managed to get 4 hemorrhage stacks off, including the one from his ultimate. So, if he would have managed to have a little bit more time to out trade there, he could have, or get a couple more hemorrhage stacks, he probably could have won that fight fairly easily with that ulti. We see Ramus moving back towards jungle into his side on top, going towards his wolf camp as Jarvan goes and secures his red buff. Both bot laners for Wolfe Kang are now, Sivir is now backed. Galio attempting to back, but deciding to stay to defend the lane, keep it pushed back up. Not like Kai'Sa and Leona get pushed too far up in it. Sivir now moving back towards the lane as Ramus secures his wolf camp, moving towards his blue buff. Orianna pushed up pretty well in lane, Veigar having backed, as well as Jarvan going back to lane. We see a ward placed down on Dragon Pit by Leona there. See Darius with the Q combo on Alawi. Alawi doing some extra damage there. That soul pull right there alone, if Darius had been able to avoid most of those, he'd be doing a lot better in lane, opinion-wise. But he's managed to get hit by a good majority. Most of the soul of the Alawi's W's that I've seen have managed to connect with him. But we see Aramis coming up with that gank. We see the taunt landing on Alawi as she manages just to walk away. Darius not being in there and close enough to be able to follow up, sadly. So would have been a good gank if Darius was a little further up in lane and managed to get that pull off maybe. You see Veigar now moving towards bot side. Maybe looking for a gank. Ramus going through mid lane, going towards bot as Veigar pushes down. Jarvan following suit down bot lane. Might be going for the first drag of the game. Early drag. This time an Infernal Drake. This would be a good damage boost for either team if they manage to secure it this early in the game. As it looks like Henry Clay is now going for the dragon. We see Ramus going for his Raptor Camp. Darius now managing to get a pull off on Alawi top. Alawi forced to flash away from it. Still getting hit by that Darius Q though, so taking 3 of those of the hemorrhage stacks as Henry Clay secures the first Drake of the game at 9 minutes, being an Infernal Drake. That's going to be a big problem for Wolfgang already enough. The extra damage towards Henry Clay is going to be a big problem for them. Specifically people like Alawi and Veigar being bigger threats at the moment. Orianna pushing up, attempting to help push top lane. Not be able to contribute very much, going back to her lane. As Veigar manages to push it up without her being there. Veigar now moves towards his topside jungle, going to maybe find where Orianna went, as Orianna pushes past Veigar back towards her lane. Jarvan taking his Raptor camps again. Orianna managing to avoid getting stunned in the Veigar's E there. Ramus now backing in his bot side jungle. Sivir and Galio push back pretty well in their lane. Not under tower yet, but that's going to change pretty quickly as minions push heavily into the bot side. You see Orianna there taking some damage from Veigar, using her cleanse to get out of that stun, but a little too late on that, as she already tanked a lot of damage from it. Jarvan takes Ramus's blue buff now, and uses it as an attempt to go looking for another gank top lane as Jarvan comes up top lane for that gank. Managed to get that EQ combo on Darius. Darius flashing out of the Jarvan ulti as Alawi manages to land an E on Darius. Is Darius going to be hit by this as he dodges the slap from the Alawi passive? Darius sitting lane to lane, avoiding getting hit by another tentacle as he manages to back safely into a fountain. Kai's only going to push him back in the lane, looking for a potential engage. We see Ramus now coming in. The taunt on Ramus, or on Alawi, as Darius gets the Q off, not going to be able to hit anything on it. Ulted by Alawi. We see the ult from Alawi coming on Darius. We see Jarvan coming with that gank. Darius going to hit that Q and well, getting the heal off on Alawi. As he ults Alawi, not going to be able to, as he secures a kill from his hemorrhage stacks. Ramus coming in with that taunt ult combo on Jarvan as he manages to kill Jarvan. Alawi manages to walk through and avoid most of the damage on that, but still walking into that stun on Vigar, taking a lot of damage there. Ramus, I don't think actually used his ulti in that fight. No, yeah, Ramus used his ultimate. So good 2v2 there. Top lane from Wolfe managing to come out victorious, only losing Darius in that fight. We see a Q from Leona on Galio. Galio managing to land two-person taunt. We see Sivir coming with that burst. Galio coming with that dash. Knock up Sivir, or Leona going straight for Sivir, trying to burst her down. Galio pushing out pretty heavily, taking a lot of damage. Sivir managing to land the Q on Galio, forcing him to flash. A ult from Leona onto Sivir, getting the kill for Kai'Sa. Rough trade there, bot lane from Wolfe County. Henry Clay coming out victorious on that trade. The gold difference now being 2,000 in favor of Henry Clay. You see Kai'Sa and Leona now pushed up in bot lane now, going to go try and take that first turret plating in the bot lane towers. Galli manages to land a knock-up taunt on Leona. Going to take her extensive amount of damage, getting that tower aggro put onto her. Not going to be able to get that kill, though, sadly enough, as Leona's forced to back off now in the lane. Saving that first turret plating from falling, though, to Leona and Kai'Sa. We see the pull from Darius, from Aurelia onto Darius. We see Darius managing to get some turret, as he manages to leave Alawi under tower, winning that trade, but still managing to die from those Aurelia slaps, or Alawi tentacle slams. So a good trade there from Aurelia. Alawi being a little greedy in that trade there, just going straight for that Darius under tower, not realizing that his pull did a good thing, a good amount of CC, managing to keep him under that tower. As Jarvan and Vigar now go for the Rift Herald, going to try and secure it this game versus Wolfe County, who's getting it last game. As Jarvan and Vigar go to claim the Rift Herald. Sivir and Galio now backing in the lane as they now are forced to both back. Have the minion wave pushed up into their lane. Darius now returning the lane as well. Ramus pushing through mid lane. Jarvan pushed up into jungle. Ramus going through his topside jungle towards his blue buff as he's going to be able to secure that. Alawi also pushing back up into her lane. Jarvan going over the wall for his red buff. Both junglers going for some pretty easy jungle camps here. We see Vigar coming down bot lane, looking for maybe another dragon, another dragon. This time being a where's the dragon? No, going for another Infernal Drake.
Yeah, when they get this Infernal Drake, it's going to be a big damage increase there for the Henry Clay team. But we see Ramus coming in, but Alawi still ulting and being able to do all that damage. She is doing a ton of damage early in the game.
You see, forced her to flash, managing to win that 1v2 trade top lane against Wolfe County. That is a big problem for Wolfe County. As Henry Clay also drops the Rift Herald down mid lane and try and push and secure their first tower of the game. As Leona also follows up with Jarvan and Vigar, as they're going to be able to most likely secure this first tower.
Yep, that Rift Herald doing a ton of damage, and they may be able to keep it alive long enough to do another big chunk to that second tier tower right there.
As Wolfe County,
but Wolfe County grouping up here in the mid lane, we're going to see a big defense coming from bot and mid here to try to take out this Rift Herald before it does too much.
They manage to take down the Rift Herald as Alawi's pushing top lane. Vigar now backing in his jungle side as Leona and Jarvan now pushing towards bot to help Kai'Sa take this bot side tower. A heavy push from Henry Clay from all three lanes at this one moment being a big problem for Wolfe County.
And we've got Vigar teleporting back into the mid lane, and Wolfe County Blue trying to defend this bot, but they're going to need to back off here in a second. Or
We
Ramus,
see
Ramus
with
coming
that
in.
gank.
This could be a good trade for
You
Wolf
probably
County.
see Gallia manage to get that ulti off onto him. Gallia securing the kill on Jarvan as Ramus goes in with Leona flashing. Ramus power balling, getting the tip of his taunt landing onto Leona as Ramus comes in from the side, giving the kill to Sivir.
Yeah, we could see a big push right here for the Wolf County team, where Vygar coming down and getting caught out.
Ramus goes to remove a control ward in the bush as Vygar moves up to try and stop the tower from being taken. Kai'Sa also trying to defend. It looks like they're going to be able to successfully defend because of Vygar's stun.
Yep, Wolf County Blue doing the smart thing right there, backing off from that Vygar stun, getting stunned under tower is almost a death sentence.
Goal difference is now 3,000 in favor of Henry Clay, with a 2-0 tower difference, as well as 2 Infernal Drakes in favor of Henry Clay.
Yeah, a really unlucky thing there for the Wolf County Blue team. 2 Infernal Drakes back-to-back early in the game is close to devastating.
Darius now coming in from the top side jungle. We're going to try and stop this Alive from getting his tower. He manages to back her off slightly, managing to reclaim a couple of CS in the top. Jarvan going for his blue buff bot side. As Leona pushes up mid lane, weirdly enough. Jarvan also coming from jungle towards mid lane. We see Ramus and Galio sitting towards bot side jungle. Leona following suit with Jarvan trying to get that early gank, or that counter gank. Vygar also coming in to help. Darius taking a lot of damage from Alawi. Alawi just managing to just do a lot of damage to him on that lane. Sivir forced to flash and heal away from the 3-man gank from Leona, Vygar, and Jarvan as they're going to go and attempt to claim that red buff from Ramus. Ramus goes over that powerball, missing it. Luckily enough, we see a shield onto Ramus as the ult from Ramus, or ult from Vygar manages to land onto him too late. We see ult from Leona coming in. We see Vygar coming with the side. Crazy man damage. Jarvan securing that double kill, shredding damage, and Vygar just melting Orianna there. Her cleanse wasn't up in time to be able to save her from that stun, so she was just caught in a bad place there.
Yeah, the Wolf County Blue team, just poor positioning right there. That not really anything they could do something about. The Henry Clay team was just there waiting on them to try to come in and re-engage. And we're going to see a strong push from to get that second tier tower on the bot lane.
Darius having to play really passive now under his tower, trying to keep alive from getting an extra push. Then, as Ramus comes in from the side with another gank, Ramus going straight for the tower, or straight for the bush. As Alawi manages to come from the side, an ult from Alawi. Darius ulting onto Alawi, but the ignite as well as that ult slam from Alawi still managing to take down Darius.
That Alawi ult is just insane right now. The AP shows on that, and she just does so much raw damage.
Gallia, as meanwhile the entirety of Wolf County also sitting back, having to defend their mid lane base, pushing a wave back up. Kai'Sa putting down the bot side, getting it that side lane pushed out pretty heavily. Ramus going through, just seeing so many wards and so many bushes. We see 3 or 4 wards down here in this bot side. Again, even though Wolf County is doing better than their warding than their last game, still being just dwarfed in comparison to the crazy amount of vision that Henry Clay is putting down.
Yeah, this Henry Clay team has placed more wards in this game than I think all the teams that Wolf County's played against the entire season put together.
Yeah, they're doing really well in keeping this the jungle lit up in their favor.
And that definitely helps with their roaming, and you can see that's why they're able to roam so much and not be underleveled, is because they have complete vision, knowing when and where everybody on the Wolf County Blue team is.
We've seen now we see Henry Clay going for their third Drake. This time a Cloud Drake, as they managed to secure that no problem at all. Darius and Ramus moving out towards top lane. Ramus looking for another gank on Alawi, coming in from the side with that power ball, going to connect on the minions. Gets the taunt onto Alawi as Darius goes in with that Q. Crazy amount of damage still on that soul pull on Darius, getting that 5 hemorrhage stacks, but not going to be enough as Ramus just getting destroyed by Galio, or destroyed by Alawi. Getting his ignite off, her flashing. Ramus coming in again with that power ball, getting that Q onto him, taunting and managing to secure the kill on Alawi. Crazy damage there from Alawi still in that fight, taking 3 other people to help take her down.
Yeah, and with that fight, Wolves Blue trying to keep that Alawi off the top tower. They're going to lose an inhib right here in the mid lane.
Yeah, that was a big disadvantage for Wolf County. They're them having to send 3 people, at least 3 people, to fight that Alawi off the top lane tower, force them to lose the inhib mid. As it looks like Henry Clay's now be going for their first Baron for this game. They go to as they secure the Rift Herald or the Scuttle Crab. Or then we see Ramus getting caught out in a taunt or in the stun as he just gets completely destroyed, getting caught out there, pushed way too far up out of his own safety, and it costing him by getting him killed. So a bad placement, bad positioning there in his on his part.
Yeah, can't.
Leona gets a stun off on. We see Orianna getting destroyed by that Jarvan Leona, bursting her down.
Yeah, the Wolves Blue thinking that the Henry Clay team is going to go for that Baron straight out, but Henry Clay knowing that's what Wolfe County will probably do, wait around and definitely get paid off by getting a couple quick kills right there.
Especially with him getting that Ramus, the threat of that jungle of that Baron getting smited and stolen from them from Ramus is long gone with him being down in that Genesis respawn. So Henry Clay now getting that Baron, scores 15-8 in favor of them with an almost 10,000 gold lead, 6-0 towers and 3 drakes. It's looking heavily one-sided at this point in favor of Henry Clay. Let's check the farm real quick. We haven't checked that in a while. It's Alai with an almost 50 CS lead top lane versus Darius. Jungle difference about 20 CS lead in favor of Jarvan. Mid lane difference about a 20 CS lead in favor of Vigar. ADC wise about a 20 CS difference in favor of Kai'Sa. Both, and even in the support, having about a 20 CS difference in favor of Leona. So the CS also being heavily in favor of Henry Clay, but then also, you know, with the fact that their champion pool being a lot more of a wave clear heavy kind of champion pool with Vigar, Kai'Sa, or in our Alawi with that crazy minion clear potential. Ramus going for his red buff as Leona comes in from the side and trying to stop him from taking. Orianna coming down from mid lane. We see Galio sitting in the bush behind, waiting for something to happen. Vigar stun in the bush, not being able to hit anything. Jarvan coming over. Orianna flashing out of it as Galio manages to land a 3-man knockup with his ulti, getting to land that taunt, flashing for the taunt on Vigar, giving the kill to Ramus as Darius comes in with the TP and secures the kill with his ultimate on Leona. So a good rotation from Wolfe County there, looking. I mean, that probably being the best play that they've probably made this game at this point, that conversion, and not losing anything very much in that fight either. Although it does look like they might lose their second top lane tower at this point, because it looks like that Alawi is going to be able to take it no problem, as she's actually not going to be able to, though, because with the lack of a minion wave. You see Ramus sitting top lane ready again for another gank. Looks potentially. You see power balls in from the side. We're not going to be able to do anything with it, though, as she's out of range. Jarvan now in his top side jungle going for that for those Krugs, allowing now warding. Or look, no, actually no warding, just going to the bush to face check it, with another slam of those minions. Galio now pushing in top or mid lane to try and help hold those minions back. The entirety of Henry Clay now backed. We see Kai'Sa now in the bot lane pushing, as Ramus comes in with that Righteous Glory. Managing ult off, just destroying Kai'Sa, man. That 1v1 from Ramus just doing a lot there, as Kai'Sa forced to flash over the wall and heal. Ramus coming in with that follow-up, though. Kai'Sa E'ing. We see Ramus getting a little too greedy, though, going for that 1v2. He's not going to be able to secure the kill, as he secures the kill on Kai'Sa, but dying to her in the process from that Q. Ramus was a little greedy in that fight there, trying to go for that kill on Kai'Sa, but he did have the potential to 1v1 her if she didn't get that escape, as well as have Leona come and save her with that, with the CC. So good damage from Ramus there on Kai'Sa, though, for sure. And, you see now Galio and Sivir going in on Alawi. Alawi knowing that she can do way too much damage for their own sake. Top lane just sitting there waiting. We see Vigar throwing a stone wall, going to be connected as Jarvan and Leona also collapse towards top lane in a 4-man top lane trying to attempt to get a push here. We see Darius now having forced it back under tower. Or forced back under his tower. Galio pushed up a little bit during the Q. We see a Vigar stun over. Alawi ulting, going to be able to do a crazy man damage. Jarvan getting a 3-man ulti off on them, catching Ori and Galio in the middle of it. Galio managing to land a taunt. We see Galio ulting, not going to be able to get anything out of it though as they get away. So Wolfe County did lose their top laner, but meanwhile Henry Clay also lost their top laner. So it was a 1-for-1 trade. Pretty even. I would say them shutting down or getting Alawi is more valuable though than getting Darius killed. Kai'Sa now going to try and solo the dragon as she manages to secure a 3rd Infernal Drake. Something that Wolfe County really does not need to deal with right now, being another Infernal Drake, just adding on to the crazy amount of damage that they already put out from Henry Clay. It's going to be really rough for them at this point now. They did manage to shut down that kill gap slightly, making it 17-12. The gold difference now being only down to 8,000 instead of 10 that it was earlier, and still sitting with 0 towers, having no objectives being taken. Wolfe County's severe lack of objectives being a major issue this game. Not one tower captured, or one dragon taken, or even a baron taken. Nothing of a major impactful difference in the game being taken in advantage for Wolfe County here. As Henry Clay now pushes the entirety of their team towards the bot side jungle in Wolfe County's jungle, we see a 2-man stun as Alawi just demolishes Galio and Oriana with that slam there. Just looking like it might be that with that one engage from them right there might be what's going to cost them. Darius getting hit with that soulful, managing to land the we see the stun from her. We see Jarvan ulting over the wall, managing to connect onto Sever as she manages to spell shield a little bit of it, not going to be nothing, as Darius getting almost destroyed, having to go back into his base, sitting there watching as Henry Clay goes and just clears the first 2 inhibs, pushing up, waiting for a mini wave to push up to help them in that game. We see them now pushing up towards, they go in now to clear a minion, or clear the first tower. A stun thrown down by him, by Vigar. Not going to be able to connect onto him though. Darius missing his pull on Alawi. Her missing her pull on Darius, too. I think that's like the second or third pull I've seen her miss, but she's landed more than she's missed from what we've been seeing here for sure. Fly playing very aggressively, being a big problem for Darius. Him managing to get hit by most of those pulls and those slams toppling early is what really messed him up for the good portion of this game. As Kaiser now goes to secure a red buff, it looks like they might be setting up for another Baron, as the they go to drop another ward over the wall on the Baron. Ram is coming in, looking to potentially drop another ward down as he goes scanner ready to check for wards. Leona pushing up a little ahead, but Leona being able to do that, she's going to be pretty safe doing that. Not much of a threat from just Ramus versus Leona. As Henry Clay now go to engage on the Baron, we might see a counter Baron from them, as actually Wolfe County has decided not to go for the Baron steal, because given that location, it looks like it would be a pretty heavy fight in favor of Henry Clay. As they manage to secure that other Baron, we see them now pushing up in the lane. The entirety of Henry Clay now. Actually, Vigar now deciding to go instead for the blue buff. Crazy amount of damage from Vigar there. 1 W alone doing 800 something damage to that blue buff. His Wolfe County now all converged onto their base to try and defend potentially the last defense they can do. Jarvan with his GA has the complete freedom to jump in and try and fight them. He'll be able to survive a little longer. We see Gallium or Darius Angel land. We see an Alawi stun and ult. Or like so, Jarvan gets a triple kill on them, shredding them. Jarvan securing a quadra kill. Or no, he has a quadra kill. As they just shred them and end the game. Wolfe County just didn't have much of a hope there after about the 20-minute mark. It was pretty much over. But again, Wolfe County's first official, or their second official loss of the season. So that's that game.